got it.
And to all of the naysayers, and to all of those that would like to destroy the future of the greatest country in the world, our message to them is the same as my grandfather's. Them that's going, get on the wagon. Them that ain't, get out of the way.
Herman Cain.
Herman Cain.
Solutions for a better America.
Anytime. This is your host, Herman Cain. Thank you for joining us. Because you know, we are going to tell you the truth and give you the facts. Because we want you to be better informed to help make this a better United States of America. Thank you for joining us. And thank you to those that are joining us on live streaming, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you. See, technology is a wonderful thing when it works. And I happen not to be in my home studio. I am in a guest studio out west, KNXT. And Ken's the man because he made all of this stuff work. Happening now, folks. President Trump just wrapped up his speech to the National Sheriff's Association. He told them, you are the role models to young Americans all across this country. And he also told law enforcement, you have a true friend in the White House. And he said that he stands with them and that he supports the police. He said it, they believed it, and convincingly. He also spoke about his temporary immigration suspension from 7 predominantly Muslim countries.
He may by proclamation and for such period as he shall deem necessary. So here it is. People coming in. Suspend the entry of all aliens, right? That's what it says. It's not like, again, a bad high school student would understand this. Anybody would understand this. Suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens. Okay, so you can suspend the aliens, right? You can suspend the aliens from coming in. Very strong. Or impose on the entry of aliens any restrictions he may deem to be appropriate. Okay. So you can suspend, you can put restrictions, you can do whatever you want. And this is for the security of the country, which, again, you're the chiefs, you're the sheriffs. You understand this.
A bad high school student could understand it. That's not a ding on bad high school students. It's a ding on the media for not reporting it properly, and it's a ding on the Democrats for continuing to make all of this noise about the suspension. And you've got the media doing their part of trying to turn this molehill into a mountain, and this judge jumped all over it also. See, we have a system in this country that if you don't like something, you can challenge it in court. Just because you challenge it in court does not mean you're going to win in court. And all Donald Trump is doing with that, with his speech where he is clarifying it, is trying to let the public know directly some of the things that the public ought to know about this, because the liberal media is not going to tell them. They're going to continue to paint this as much as they can as a ban. He's trying to protect the United States of America. That's all. And he said he was going to do it. Just like he said he was going to make this a better America.
A better America.
We will face many challenges, but with the faith in each other and the faith in God, we will get the job done.
Herman Cain's connected, unfiltered perspective every day.
As expected, in the United States Senate, Vice President Mike Pence was going to have to cast the tie-breaking vote for Betsy DeVos.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative and the nomination is confirmed.
You see, the tie-breaking vote, folks, which Senate officials said was unprecedented to confirm a cabinet nominee, followed an all-night debate on DeVos's Senate on DeVos as Senate Democrats tried to pressure at least one more Republican to oppose her and defeat the nomination. Now, don't forget, we talked about last week how Senator Collins of Maine and Senator Murkowski of Alaska opposed her and announced that they weren't going to vote for her. So this meant that you had 50 Republicans. They stuck together against the 50 Democrats. Now, Murkowski and Collins did it because they get a lot of money from the teachers' unions. But they couldn't talk one more Republican into defecting from the Republican ranks. That is a good sign. That is a good sign. So Vice President Mike Pence had to come in and cast that vote. You see, there are several reasons why the Democrats don't like DeVos. They call her anti-union. No, she is pro-education for students. She does not support leaving students trapped in failing schools. That's what she stands for. But believe it or not, in a lot of places, folks, the Democrats, not all, they don't care if students are trapped in failing schools. And many of them are. Another Better America story. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order that will direct the Treasury Secretary to review the 2010 Dodd-Frank financial overhaul. It's Trump's first step at scaling back regulations on financial services. See, ever since they put this thing in, here is one of the things that has been troubling about it. It was put together by Democrats and given no oversight, accountability from Congress. That's just wrong, y'all. It's messed up. And they're out there passing regulations left and right, disrupting the financial markets, disrupting businesses, and no accountability. That's just wrong. What is Donald Trump doing as the president? What any leader would do. Review the regulations and determine which ones need to be scaled back. Another Better America story. In a letter, we call this letter full of tears. 447 former EPA employees say Scott Pruitt's record raises serious questions about his ability to act in the public's interest based on current law and the best available science. The Environmental Integrity Project, a watchdog group launched by ex-EPA officials in 2002, coordinated the missive. Did you notice it said ex-EPA officials? 447 of them? Maybe they are some of the ones that put the EPA on steroids in the first place. So I don't think Scott Pruitt or President Trump is going to worry about the serious questions. Here again, folks, trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. One more Better America, trying to get all of the cabinet positions done and confirmed. I believe Jeff Sessions is supposed to come up for vote tonight. He is expected to pass despite the shenanigans of the Democrats. Tom Price is expected to be confirmed on Friday as Health and Human Services Secretary. Here again, they tried to make a mountain out of a molehill concerning a trade by his broker that he didn't even know about till after the fact that amounted to a little over $2,600, but they wanted to make that the absolute mountain under which he would be denied the job of cabinet secretary. No, for Health and Human Services. You know why the Democrats don't like Tom Price? They don't like Tom Price because he knows the Unaffordable Care Act inside and out. He was one of the first ones to put together a plan to pass instead of the Unaffordable Care Act. He is also now the one responsible for the convergence of some of these ideas. They're not in disarray. That's what the media wants you to believe. He is allowing the ideas that are on the table to merge and converge to come up with a replacement. Speaker Paul Ryan has said we will have a replacement. And Speaker Paul Ryan, as well as President Trump, have acknowledged that it may take longer. Why? Because the Unaffordable Care Act didn't fix the leak in the roof. It blew up the building. It's in splinters. The healthcare system, the insurance system that we had prior to the Unaffordable Care Act is gone. You can't fix it. You can't repair it. We need a new blueprint, which is what HHS Secretary-elect, boy, I'd be glad next Jane to be when I have to drop this elect stuff next week. His job is going to be to engineer the repeal and the replacement of the Unaffordable Care Act. One other molehill that they have been trying to turn into a mountain. They're starting to talk about impeaching Donald Trump. For what? I don't get it. They don't like the words he used. Representative Nancy Pelosi from California said that President Trump's first weeks in office have been deeply troubling. That's because he's doing what he said he was going to do. But offered no grounds for impeachment. Pelosi was more cautious, saying the new president has been reckless and incompetent, but hasn't done anything criminal to merit his removal by Congress.
Grounds for displeasure and unease in the public about the performance of this president, who has acted in a way that is strategically incoherent, that is incompetent, and that is reckless. And that is not grounds for impeachment.
It's not only not grounds for impeachment, it simply is not true. Some people in the media call it fake accusation. I call it a lie. You're listening to the Herman Cain Show.
Delivering trusted solutions for a better America.
He's telling America what we need to hear and helping to activate everyone in the right direction.
Herman Cain.
Cliff, what state are you in? Okay, hold on for us, okay? Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Happening Now.
Herman Cain Show, what do you want to say to Herman today?
Now, that was one thing that was a little confusing. I just said that sheriff meeting was this morning. But then Ashley was telling me it was yesterday.
I mean, we played clips from Elizabeth Warren and Nancy Pelosi.
Now, that was one thing that was a little confusing. I just said that sheriff meeting was this morning.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Did you hear me?
Herman?
Yeah.
I was afraid that was going to happen.
What?
No, there was two different things. The thing that you did for Happening Now just happened. The thing Ashley's talking about was yesterday.
Border
They're two
Patrol.
different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The Sheriff's Association's in D.C. for a conference all week.
Okay.
So he met with just a select group of sheriffs and law enforcement officials at the White House yesterday.
Right.
And today he's addressing the whole conference.
Got it.
So he just like handpicked some to invite to the White House yesterday.
Got it.
And this guy, Sheriff Sam Page, was at the White House yesterday.
Got it. I can explain that. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
they-
inconsistent.
So what you said on the air was fine.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. That'd be cool. You still working on those talking points, Ashley?
Oh, did I not send it?
Not
send
yet.
it? Sorry. Okay. Yep. I just sent it to your Cain at me.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Just send it.
Ken's the man. I'm now on their Wi-Fi. I can get shit. Oh,
Doors open.
doors open.
All right. So do you want to call
Streamers,
for the
I
short
forgot.
segment?
Forgive me. Say what?
Do you want to call for the short segment?
Let's see. Yes.
All right, Jerry. You were talking about the Democrats going through all the stages of grief.
Yeah.
Jerry's talking about that too, and just how they're hurting themselves, and he explains why he thinks so.
I love it. Okay. Jerry in Ohio.
Hey, Jerry.
All right. If you do that, review the stages of grief thing, so it'll be
You gotta be quick.
it'll
Okay.
sound right.
All right. We'll do.
So please just say hi and get right to it, okay? Okay, thanks.
Did I say that?
You can also laugh at Pelosi, who still won't work with Bush.
Where was she saying this? Do you know?
This was yesterday during her
Rant?
little news conference.
I might. How long is that cut? I might do it at
It's
the,
like 20 seconds.
I might do it at the end of the segment and go, Nancy, Bush is no longer president.
Same old tactic.
It is.
Yeah, it's the same old thing.
Same talking points. They just forgot to change the names in it.
You can punch up too if you're ready.
I got your email.
Okay.
Good to go. We're going to go to Jerry,
Yep.
and I'm going to review the stages of grief. Boy, you guys do a great job keeping me on point, on topic, on
What time
time.
is it there, Herman? It's 3 hours earlier, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so it's got to be super early for you, my friend.
Yes, it is. It's 7:24 a.m. here.
Eek! Yikes! No thanks.
I had to get up at. Time I get up? 3:30. Actually, 3:45 to catch a 4:30 car to get over here. But I gotta take my hat off to Ken. He's the man, folks. Not only does he get me set up in the studio to make sure everything works right, but he also got the live streaming set. So, thanks, Ken. And we'll be back tomorrow to do it again.
You need to take Ken to Chick-fil-A.
He went yesterday, thank you. You know what Ken would rather have as a prize? Joe Stone crabs. Where I ate there Monday. What time did you come to work? Yeah. 2 o'clock? Oh, so you wouldn't have time to meet me at Joe's for lunch or anything. It'd be too much traffic and all that.
10 seconds.
Oh. Yeah, what's today, Wednesday? I was planning to go tomorrow. Can you do it? All right. Deal.
Anytime.
Welcome back to the Herman Cain Show. Obviously, there's still a lot of grief about Donald Trump being president. I reminded you several days ago that psychologists say that there are 3 stages of grief. First is denial. They're getting past that because President Trump is President Trump. Secondly, anger. They're still angry. And then thirdly, supposedly acceptance. Many of the liberals and the Democrats haven't gotten there yet. I think it's going to take a 2.5 phase of slowly and quietly, watching the results unfold, and then go from there. 877-310-2100. Who do we have on the line there?
It's Jerry.
Jerry, welcome to the show. What's on your mind today, Jerry?
Good morning, Mr. Cain.
Yes, sir.
Well, to your point with making the mountains, the molehills into mountains, I feel that everyone I see on the Democratic or on the liberal side of things are screaming and hollering and stomping their feet.
Right.
Reminds me of John McEnroe. Remember that tennis player?
Yes.
Okay, that's going to be a different twist on things, but I used to find it entertaining that he would jump up and down and argue every single call, and then I loved it more when he lost.
Yeah.
And what I feel is happening here is all these senators and all these congressmen on the left side of things are screaming and jumping up and down, and I think come midterm, you're going to see yet another bunch of seats given over to the right, voted in to the right.
You got a good point, Jerry. In fact, if you go to HermanCain.com, Dan Calabrese wrote an article about the Associated Press and one other news outlet that are saying that it's going to be brutal during the midterms for Democrats because of all of their screaming and trying to make mountains out of molehills. You're listening to the Herman Cain Show.
All right, I'm gonna run away here in a second.
And
Okay.
Herman, do you
Yep.
think do you want to keep Sheriff Page? Do you want me to tell him to plan on the whole segment till about 10:50? He's good. He's talkative.
You say he's talkative?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because we might get into some of the other general law enforcement things as well, in addition to the meeting that he participated in.
Well, the thing too is having police enforce immigration laws and stuff like that. Ask him about how that works and what's this complaint that some of these sheriffs have in these sanctuary cities.
Right. Yeah, we could go in a lot of directions. Actually, when you get him on the line, that's a good idea. Give him a heads up that I'm going to ask him about the sanctuary cities and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, probably will use up the whole segment.
He's in North Carolina, so I'll find out if they even have any sanctuary cities
Okay.
in North Carolina.
No, it'll be a good one. Ties into what's going on, law enforcement, sanctuary cities, illegal immigration, and all that kind of stuff. So those would be the topics which I'm sure he's fairly versed on. And unlike Fox and Friends, he'll get more than 3.5 hot minutes.
Yeah, right. And he's been on Fox a number of times. Fox and Friends this morning wasn't his first appearance on Fox. So
I may have seen him. May have seen him.
Yeah, if you have a chance, Google his name.
Okay. Okay. You said you can make lunch for tomorrow? What's Mandarin over? Oh, okay. Oh, so you're not far away. Yeah. I was thinking more like 12 o'clock. You got a deal. Okay. Yeah. Cool. She did. That was cool. They put me. I made a reservation, but I was just going to do a walk-in because they at lunch they said you really don't need a reservation. That'll be cool, man. Let's just meet at 12 o'clock. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I love it. That's cool. That's cool. Is she going to be serving tomorrow? Do you know? Okay. We can just do walk-in unless you want to get a resident. Okay. That's 12 o'clock. Count on it. That'll be cool. That'll be cool. Man, I had those stone crabs from Monday. I had gone to stone crab house. Oh, they were so good. That's why I said I got to go back one more time before I leave town. I found one place in Atlanta that has a New York prime steakhouse. They have. Yeah. They fly them in every day. It is tough. It is tough. Yeah. I don't know how long it goes. Yeah. But no, that'd be great. Oops. Slipped. I explained to the viewers that on live streaming, we have a saying, doors open, because back at the main studio, when you open the door, it opens right into the newsroom. And they don't want me yelling, going off, having a hissy fit over something, using improper language. So they always warn me when the doors open. About that time I said, what did I say? We do stuff. That's what I meant to say, y'all. Stuff. Okay? I'm human. Yes. I have. This mic is hot all the time from 10 to for 1 hour. I should know that. I should know that. And FYI, folks that are watching on live stream, we're going to be live streaming again tomorrow. Okay? And then on Friday, it'll not be live streaming because I will not be on, but you can go back and watch some of the previous segments that are saved right there on the YouTube page. So we got plenty of stuff to watch in order to stay informed. All right. Oh, that's why you're going there. Uh-huh. Yeah. What, are you going to be recording stuff, interviewing people? Oh, okay. Well, cool. That'll work fine then. Perfect. But now I'll do it for 12 o'clock. Travel ban was unnecessary, according to Krauthammer. It's a suspension. How many times do you have to say that?
All right, 30 seconds. Ashley's still talking to him, but he's on the line.
Okay. Good.
he's ready, and you can go anytime.
Welcome back to the Herman Cain Show. Thank you for joining us today. We are honored to have a special guest that was kind enough to agree to come on to the Herman Cain Show somewhat at the last minute. How about this morning? Turns out that Sheriff Sam Page from Rockingham County, North Carolina, he attended a listening session held in the Roosevelt Room of the White House yesterday, and President Trump addressed the group again today. And so Sheriff Page, he's been kind enough to come onto the show and share some of his thoughts and impressions. Welcome, Sheriff Page.
Mr. Cain, I'm glad to be here.
Well, that is so great. So I'll bet that it was, I bet you could hear a pin drop in that listening session, and you happen to be one of the law enforcement officials in that session that's been sort of going on for the past couple of days.
Yeah, I consider it historic, compared to our past administration. We just didn't seem to have that communication, those opportunities.
Yes. And what was your biggest impression coming out of being in that meeting with President Trump?
Well, I'll just be quite frank with you. President Trump was just down to earth, just so cordial, and just opened up a round table with the officers, where the sheriffs could just have just a general conversation on some issues that we were seeing, and we had just a general conversation.
Good.
But my impression is that this will be one of many conversations in the future.
That is great. Now, how long did this meeting go? Was it a multi-day meeting or that session? How long did that session go that you attended?
I think it was about a 45-minute meeting.
Okay.
And then the president was so cordial to invite us to the Oval Office. I saw that on TV before, but never been in there. And
right.
That was very, very educational.
Two of the big topics that impact law enforcement in this country that have been hot in the news. First being this temporary suspension of allowing refugees from 7 countries coming into this country. What's the general reaction on the part of many of the sheriffs that you know?
Well, I can't blanket all the sheriffs, but I would think that because our first responsibility in our jobs is to protect our citizens.
Yes.
I think it would be safe to say that the sheriffs across the country that understand it's important to know who's coming into our country, coming in and going out. And part of the vetting process is to do just that. Because you've heard it said before, all you got to do is get it wrong one time.
Yep. Get it wrong one time.
And so I think the president set that as a priority. And considering that those countries listed were countries where there's a high activity of terrorist activity, that just increases the odds of someone getting through. Now, when you listen to Director Comey with the FBI a few months ago make the statement there are gaps in our vetting system,
yes.
Well, when he says that, I believe him because that's what they do. They handle the vetting process and with working with other partners. But if the director of the FBI says there's a problem, then we need to fix those gaps.
I think that is a great point because I had not remembered that point. I'm glad you brought it up. There are gaps in the vetting system, but you don't hear that with all of the narrative out there about how bad this ban, which is a temporary suspension, is because you don't hear all the facts in that regard. Now,
no, you don't.
No, you don't. In North Carolina, do you all have any sanctuary cities?
No, actually, in 2015, the governor signed a bill, House Bill 318, which basically prohibited sanctuary cities, sanctuary city policies. So therefore, an organization, a county or municipality could not enact ordinances that would prohibit their law enforcement from sharing and cooperating with federal authorities.
Gotcha. So in North Carolina, you all do work with the federal authorities. If you happen
Absolutely. We're on many task forces.
Great.
From Marshal Service to FBI to DEA to ICE task force. We work with several task forces.
That's terrific. And so you all won't have that problem that some of the other states are going to have when President Trump says, well, sanctuary cities aren't going to get whatever assistance they were getting and this sort of thing. And why would some municipalities, whether you're talking about a county, whether you're talking about a a city, why wouldn't they want to work with the federal government to get illegals out of this country or people that are criminals, known criminals, out of this country? Why wouldn't they want to do it?
Well, I'd have to probably I'd have to refer to those individual mayors or town councils, and because they set the policies that the police chiefs generally have to follow.
Right.
But as a sheriff, I took an oath, as they took an oath, to support the Constitution and uphold the laws of the state that I reside in, and treat all people equally and fairly. And that's what we do. And so when they say, well, we want to be a sanctuary city, you can't pick and choose what law. If you don't like the laws, you have a legislative process to change the laws in your state.
Yes.
Or in the Congress. But just because I don't like a law doesn't mean I don't enforce the law. I can't pick and choose.
Yes, you can't make up the laws. You can't pick and choose. That is a great point. In the meeting that you attended, what were some of the main concerns that the attendees shared with President Trump?
Well, I think the first most serious thing that's affected law enforcement is during the Obama administration, the way the administration from the president down, Attorney General, the way law enforcement was generally treated. I think the president reassured us is that he supports us, he believes in what we do, and he encouraged the partnerships with the federal government. And I think he's going to see cooperation across the country on this, because that's a boost that law enforcement hasn't had that's really needed over the past several years. And I've worked in law enforcement, Herman, for 34 years and 18. I was going on 19 years as sheriff. So
wow,
I've seen it. I've seen the cycles. But we do need the boost, and we do need support. We've got many great men and women that every day put on that badge, put on a gun, and go out here and enforce the laws to protect our citizens, regardless who they are and where they come from.
I think that is wonderful. Congratulations, and thank you for those years of service. And I know that your community is probably very grateful for that. Now, did you all discuss any of the recent attacks on police officers across the country?
I'm sorry.
Did you discuss any of the attacks and murders of police officers across the country?
We did not get into that part, but we did talk about the officers. There's concern about I was concerned about officer safety,
right?
But working together in that partnership. But I think that like I said, this is one meeting of I hope to be many meetings with law enforcement where we can have dialogue with the administration. To help us do a good job at what we do, but also, again, as a force multiplier working together, we can get crime in check in our communities, whether it be at the local level or the federal level, supporting each other. Because if the Border Patrol agents and the ICE agents are able to do their job,
right,
and they're good at what they do, it makes my job easier. But I can tell people that if we don't secure our borders in 2 to 3 days, those things that we see at the border coming through will be in your communities in North Carolina and across the country. North Carolina is supposed to be, according to the DEA, is number 2 in drug trafficking routes next to the Atlanta region.
Wow.
So that tells me 2 to 3 days out from the border, we still have those dangers and those threats. And what you see that's happening across the border, I don't want to see in North Carolina. Between 2006 and 2012, I think it was over 70,000 people were killed by cartel associates down in Mexico. And I don't want to see any of that in America.
See, that's a tough job right there. And the thing that bothers it is. The thing that bothers me, Sheriff Page, is that you have all of these voices out there, these loud voices stirring stuff up, dividing us, making us think that we don't have a threat, when in fact it is a huge threat. It's not just going to go away by singing Kumbaya, as I have often said. You see it every day.
And you need to be very careful with who you listen to. I was watching I saw something on social media where Denzel Washington made a comment on his take on the media. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
And a little expert he said was if you don't read the newspapers, you're uninformed, and if you do read them, you're misinformed. That was just an excerpt, and that just stuck with me. I told a group at church the other day. I said, that just stuck with me.
That is great.
The thing is, be careful of your information sources. That's why when I want to know what was going on with the border surge, I felt like the best place to go was go to the border and ask the sheriffs down there, because the sheriffs they'll tell you.
Yeah.
And it don't matter where you go in America. Sheriffs are sheriffs. We run jails. We protect the people out in the country and the public. And we got some good information back in 2014 during the border search, but we went to the border. We've gone to
Yes.
out to Arizona. We've asked the questions, but the problem was, and the sad thing was, is that the past administration wouldn't go to the border. They
Wow.
didn't put a priority on it.
So how could they possibly know the extent of the problems if they never went there? That was the problem that I had because, like you said,
Well,
you wanted to know. You went.
Yeah. Well, I'm the kind of guy that I got to see it for myself, and I don't, like I said, I can only assume that the person providing the information or providing hopefully the right information. But if you talk to the sheriffs and law enforcement that live and work on the borders, they'll tell you a different story.
Unbelievable. I like that quote. Write that down, Shane B. You said Denzel Washington said it. If you don't,
I got to give credit, but it was on social media, and it was an excerpt talking. He was talking about the media.
Yeah.
But when he said about the part about uninformed or misinformed, if you read it or you don't read it.
that is a great take on not only the newspapers but a lot of the media and the different ones, and we've been talking a lot about that. But we're going to look that up.
He's a great man. He's a fine man. He's not only a good actor, he's a good man.
Yeah.
And I like what he does. But when I heard that, I said, that was just right on point.
But it also says he's not following the typical Hollywood liberal language in talking about all of the things out there and in denial that people are being manipulated in terms of their whole perception of everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing that. Well, Sheriff, I want to thank you for your 34 years of service. Thank you for joining us on short notice on the Herman Cain Show.
Yes, sir.
And continued success, my friend, in what you do and what all of the sheriffs, all of the law enforcement people across this country do. So on behalf of those ingrates that don't understand that you're working every day to try to protect them, thank you on behalf of all of your citizens and citizens all across this country. Thanks a lot, Sheriff Page.
Thank you. It's been an honor. Bye-bye.
You're listening to the Herman Cain Show.
Credible, experienced, engaging. Herman Cain.
He keeps it real.
He gives it to you as it is.
Daily solutions for a better America.
Frank, you got a minute? Yeah, Bill. I'm a little concerned about what's been happening at the plant. Organizers
All right, guys.
You out of here?
Thanks, Jared.
Well, have fun tonight. Do you want to just?
Now that you mention it, I heard about a similar union.
I guess. What time are y'all going?
We're supposed to be back up here at 4:30, so I'm just gonna, as soon as I get done with the podcast, I'm gonna start working on it, and then I'll send you what I've got, and
Okay.
I'll try to make sure it's like I've already started to do
But union officials can still keep us from negotiating our own employment terms.
but it won't be like that. It'll
I
be
just
at
feel
least
like we should be the ones that get to
14,
choose
15
whether to
pages, so it'll be
unionize,
like
not the
it won't
company
be much
or
more.
union officials. What can we do?
The National Right to Work Legal Defense Foundation can help. To learn about your rights or ask for free legal aid, contact the foundation toll-free.
All right, Herman, see you tomorrow, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Jared.
Absolutely.
How late is the thing?
Life can hit you with the unexpected. The loss of a job, a sudden illness, a dramatic
Yeah, no,
change
I'll be
in
fine
mortgage
tomorrow morning.
payment,
Okay.
leaving you feeling helpless.
I'll be here.
Well, y'all have
forcing
fun.
difficult decisions.
Okay.
Falling behind on your mortgage.
Go
or worried
Buzzards.
about financial problems or are afraid of foreclosure. It's time.
Are you talking about our basketball team in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Calling them
It's good
buzzards?
somebody is.
They are Hawks, Shani B. Go Buzzards.
I'd call them the Dirty Birds, but that's somebody else.
Yeah.
The National Foundation for Credit
You'd be proud to know I watched the Super Bowl.
You did.
Well, I
Sorta,
turned it on
sorta.
after halftime.
Sort of. Oh.
Yeah, we were running around and went to eat.
I'm in almost every
I had
school
priorities.
classroom. I go to school with your
I'm going to see if I can't find that Denzel Washington quote. That's pretty cool.
You see me around the
It doesn't just apply to
Pretty good
it doesn't just apply to newspapers. It applies to most of the. I know we beat up on the liberal media a lot. That's because they deserve it. And they aren't doing themselves any favors.
There's enough food in this country.
That's another article that
Please visit feedingamerica.org today.
Dan on my website wrote, folks, that you may find interesting when he talks about how some of the media folk are still in denial and they think that they can defeat Donald Trump. Donald Trump has already won, is the point of the article. They want him to get rid of his tweet. He won't. That's how he stays in direct contact with the public. They want him to be, maybe I should save this for the closing segment. Maybe I should. See, folks, y'all can tell I get wound up and I forget whether I'm on break or whether I'm on the show. That would be my closing segment. Actually, if you can hear me, I will take Jan at the Ashley.
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, okay. I'll take Jan right at the beginning of the segment, but ask her to be quick.
Hey, you're going to be the last call for the top of the hour, so
If you suspect abuse, contact your local law enforcement agency.
Commander of U.S.-led coalition in Iraq says he expects to retake Mosul and Raqqa from ISIS within next 6 months.
Wow.
It can begin with an email, a phone call,
Hey,
a flyer in the
he's not
mail,
gonna have a chance
or
to get
perhaps a
me here,
misleading
but
website.
try back tomorrow.
Loan
I'm so sorry
modification
about that.
scams. They come in all shapes and
All right,
sizes
thanks.
and under
Have a good
different
day.
names. Loan rescue firms, counseling services, mortgage consultants. Sometimes posing as a legitimate mortgage
Do
company
you want
willing
the
to
sheriff
help
on
you
your
modify
website?
your loan and get caught up with your payments. But beware, these are highly trained con artists looking to steal your home. They often know who you are.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah. I was thinking.
Know if you are
Okay,
on the brink
and
of
do you want
foreclosure.
GPS
You're
tomorrow?
not alone, however. The National Crime Prevention Council and the U.S. Department of Justice.
Tomorrow's Thursday, GPS day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's plan on it unless something hot breaks.
All right, I'll email it to you.
Okay. Yep. It's always good to have it have it ready. But if something hot breaks, then we may, stay on that.
Okay.
I sure am interested in this Jeff Sessions vote tonight.
Right.
Coming
Tell
back.
Elizabeth Warren to shut.
Anytime.
Welcome back to the Herman Cain Show, where you just might learn something. And if you haven't yet, don't forget you can go to hermancain.com and you can listen to the entire show 24 hours a day. You can see the live streaming hour 24 hours a day. It gets posted afterwards. You can read commentary with an attitude 24 hours a day at your leisure, so you're not tied to a particular time frame necessarily. Or you can listen to it in your car. Jan from Georgia, you've got the last minute on rapid fire. I guess that was earlier, but hello, Jan. What's on your mind today?
Okay, I'm a first-time caller, and I just wanted to let you know that I've been listening to your show since the presidential race, and I love it.
Thank
and
you.
This morning I was driving in, and you were talking about how, people are not giving this man enough time to do his job and do what he says he's going to do.
Right.
And you said you tell people 3 words, wait and see. And I thought that is a brilliant idea for a bumper sticker.
Good. That's a great idea.
I know. I think that would definitely get the message out, as well as his tweets. And the bumper sticker would reach millions. So if I could find a way to get a bumper sticker that says wait and see, I will do it.
We are going to figure out the best way to get some. That is terrific. Thanks a lot, Jan, because I came up with it one day when I was confronted by some folk who wanted to argue me down about the things that Donald Trump was doing. I said, number one, he's doing what he said he was going to do. And number two, Wait and see. 3 words. And that is a great idea, Jan. The other thing that I found interesting was the interview that we did with Sheriff Page. And he quoted Denzel Washington as having said something that really strikes a chord. And that is, if you don't, and I'm going to paraphrase, if you don't watch the news or read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you watch the news and read the newspaper, you are misinformed. Think about that, folks. That's what we've been saying. I know that a lot of the liberals are in denial that the media is biased. Go read some of the articles that we have written about it at hermancain.com. We've got plenty of articles. Or go to the Media Research Center website. The liberal media gets busted every day, not just for fake news, as they want to call it, but they get busted every day for flat out telling lies. That's right. Flat out telling lies. You're listening to the Herman Cain Show. And don't forget, if you go to hermancain.com, you just might learn something. I'm Herman Cain. Thanks, viewers. Be back tomorrow. Same time, same place.